Smooshy started zooming back and forth while Elvis trotted to a maple tree in our front yard, hiked his leg, and let it flow. After, he headed past me into the house. Smooshy, however, took one last opportunity to roll around in the frigid fluff. "Okay, Crazo," I chided. "That's why you have to wear a jacket." She barreled toward me, huffing and puffing and coughing on the freezing air. "All right, get inside." I closed the door behind us and took off her vest. Following her to the kitchen, I watched her go for her empty bowl. Parker stood by the sink, the phone trapped between his shoulder and ear, while he wrote on a yellow pad we kept on the counter. His brow was furrowed. "Got it. I'll be there as soon as I can. It might be this afternoon." He paused, listening to the caller. "No problem, man. I know you do it for me." He ended the call and put his phone down with a heavy sigh. "What's wrong?" I asked. "A friend of mine needs help." "A good friend?" Parker rubbed his face. "Yep." He looked worried. "Is this a bring the shovel in black trash bags kind of thing?" He cracked a smile. "It's a rescue, Lils. 2 pitties in an abandoned house." "Sounds dangerous." "Maybe, but I still have to go." I walked to the counter and took my phone off the charger. "What are you doing?" "I'm going with you," I told him as I dialed Greer. Greer Knowles, Parker's father, didn't mind watching Smooshy or Elvis when we couldn't take them with us. "Just let me arrange for a babysitter." Parker didn't argue with me. Instead, he picked up his own phone, touched a contact, and put it to his ear. "Hi, Teresa," he said. "Can you come into the shelter today? I have a rescue." I heard her say yes before Greer picked up. "What's up?" Greer asked. There was a slight gravel to his tone that reminded me of a growling bear. It made me smile. "Hey, Greer. How do you feel about grandpuppy duty today?" Even though it was only 10 miles south on rural Route 3, I'd never been to or through Blaston, Missouri. I rarely went anywhere outside of Moonrise, unless it was Cape Girardeau. The small town, if you could call it that, boasted a total population of 54, and it had a gas station and a church. We passed a discount liquor store several hundred yards from the town sign. "This place doesn't have a post office, but it has a liquor store," I pointed out. Parker tightly gripped the wheel. "Technically, the liquor store's outside of the town's limits." His face was pinched with stress as he turned left on a gravel road past the Church of the Cross. Parker's tire slid on an ice patch before grabbing the rocky surface. "I should have put on the chains," he said absently as he dropped the truck into a lower gear. "At least we put the topper on the bed last week. I'd hate to think about the freezing wind whipping through the kennels when we take the dogs back to Moonrise." Parker nodded. Teresa Simmons, Parker's longtime employee and our friend, had donated a lot of the inheritance from her husband's death to the pit bull rescue. The topper and the truck kennels had been one of the first purchases. This was the first time we'd gotten a chance to use them. "The rescue is at capacity. Do you have any fosters in mind?" Parker sighed. The lines on his forehead deepened. "All our foster families are full up," he admitted. I put my hand on his thigh. "Let's get them now and worry about the where later." He lifted my hand from his leg and brought it to his lips. He kissed my knuckles. "I love you. Love you more." He chuckled that low and sexy tone that made my heart skip a few beats. "That's not even possible." "Ha!" I told him. "Don't be too sure about that." We drove past a couple of houses and a few trailers, vehicles, and driveways covered in snow, until he pointed at a blue truck parked outside a rundown house. Parker's buddy, Darren Larson, waited for us inside the truck in front of the shabby ranch-style home. Its white paint flaked enough to reveal the gray undertone of steel siding. A green shutter dangled from a single hinge on what I assumed was the living room window. Winter dead-end vines twisted around the front door. The thick snow made footprints leading back and forth from the front door to Darren's vehicle obvious. He got out as we pulled in and parked. On the 15-minute drive to Blaston, Parker told me that both he and Darren had been part of the program that matched trained rescue dogs with veterans suffering from PTSD. That's how Parker ended up with Elvis, and it was also the inspiration for starting the pit bull rescue in Moonrise. Apparently, Parker had motivated Darren to start his own animal rescue. I was both nervous.